Macaulay Culkin's rise to fame in the 90s holds a much darker story than anyone would imagine. While crowned as one of the highest paid child actors in history, and adored for his role in the timeless classic Home Alone, his journey to success came at a significant price. Behind the bright spotlight of fame lies a haunting truth that held him captive in Hollywood for a decade while he was just a child. From his meteoric rise in Home Alone, earning millions of dollars and reaching the pinnacle of fame, to the horrific abuse he suffered from his father, his battle with severe addiction, his unusual friendship with Michael Jackson, and the heartbreaking deaths of those closest to him. Macaulay's entire life and career has been shaped by unimaginable trauma.
Good evening. My name is Macaulay Culkin.
Macaulay Culkin.
I read the papers. $1 million for your next movie.
Wow.
I mean, this is it, pal. You are a bona fide star as of right now.
What's the relationship that you had with Michael Jackson?
Do you get to see any of the money that you've been making?
Did you have any say in whether or not you worked when you were young?
Like, honestly, he was a bad man. He was abusive and, physically and mentally. Yeah, I can show you all my scars if you want to.
Macaulay Carson Culkin was born on August 26, 1980 in New York. His father, Kit Culkin, worked at a church and also had experience as a former Broadway actor, while his mother, Patricia Brentrup, worked as a telephone operator. Macaulay, also known as Mac, had 6 siblings, 4 brothers and 2 sisters. The entire family resided in a railroad apartment in a tenement building in New York City that was described as barely suitable for a couple. This tiny apartment was just a hallway with no separating doors except for the bathroom, which notably lacked a lock. This confined space is where the family of 9 called home for several years. Mac's early years were marked by financial hardship, as his family struggled to make ends meet. Billy Hopkins, the casting director who gave Mac his first acting role at just 4 years old, said this about Mac. Macaulay would crawl under the bleachers at the theater to look for change that had fallen out of people's pockets. They were like the Beverly Hillbillies. Eventually, the large Culkin family soon became a resource for friends in the theater community. Mac's brother Kieran said the Culkin children were used as nothing more than onstage props. Whenever a production needed a kid, they were like, "What age and what gender? We've got 7 of them right over there." Mac's father, Kit Culkin, had aspired to become a renowned actor, but faced failure due to an injury during an off-Broadway performance of King Lear. His inability to achieve his dream transformed his children's lives into a nightmare. Kit saw an opportunity to capitalize on his kids and become their full-time manager and agent. He pushed them into show business against their will to compensate for his own shattered dreams. Mac admitted that he had little to say in his own career choices.
I never chose the projects. My parents, essentially, chose them for me.
Mac candidly shared that his father, Kit, was not the supportive figure one might expect. Instead, he described Kit as mentally and physically abusive, often making threats such as, "Do good or I'll hit you." Mac spoke of enduring both emotional and physical scars from his father's abuse. He was a bad man. He was abusive, physically and mentally. "I can show you my scars. He was just a bad dude. The one thing he taught me was how not to be, and how I don't want to be with my children. My concept of a father is one you get from TV shows and movies." At the young age of 5, Mac embarked on his Hollywood journey with his screen debut in the supernatural TV movie The Midnight Hour in 1985. This marked the beginning of his career, leading to appearances in films like Rocket Gibraltar, See You in the Morning, Uncle Buck, and Jacob's Ladder. All these early roles acted as stepping stones for Mac, leading to his groundbreaking performance in the holiday classic Home Alone in 1990. Directed by Chris Columbus and written by John Hughes, the film brilliantly combined humor, heart, and a touch of thrilling chaos. The film featured Mac as Kevin McAllister, an 8-year-old who finds himself accidentally left behind when his family goes on a Christmas vacation.
I made my family disappear.
Home Alone wasn't just a success, it was a cultural phenomenon. Mac was catapulted into worldwide fame overnight, and at just 10 years old, he became the biggest child star in Hollywood. Mac's face graced countless magazines, video games, and merchandise. Mac's popularity soared.
The #1 box office movie of the weekend. Nice to have you on the show.
Okay.
Please welcome Macaulay
Culkin.
You're a hot property at the moment, aren't you?
Home Alone became the highest grossing live-action comedy film of all time and held that title for nearly 3 decades. In its initial release, it raked in over $476 million worldwide. It was, and still is, a holiday classic adored by generations. As Home Alone catapulted Mac into the dazzling world of fame, the shadows of his personal life darkened. While Mac received a whopping $100,000 for his role in Home Alone, he was lucky if he would even receive a penny of that money. His father, Kit, knew it was time to capitalize on Mac's fame and extract millions and millions of dollars out of his son while he still had the chance. Mac felt trapped in a prison while shooting movies with his father. "I'm going around the country locked in a room with a man who didn't like me. I was making God knows how much money, and Kit was making me sleep on the couch just because he could. Just to let you know who's in charge, and just to let you know if he doesn't want you to sleep in a bed, you're not going to sleep in a bed." Kit's jealousy was a constant shadow in their relationship. Mac's incredible success at a young age seemed to intensify Kit's resentment. Mac once shared, "Everything he tried to do in his life, I excelled at before I was 10 years old." Following the monumental success of Home Alone, Mac starred in 2 notable films in 1991, Only the Lonely and My Girl. It was in My Girl that Mac achieved a historic milestone, becoming the first child actor ever to earn a staggering $1 million for a single film.
It's a mood ring. It tells what mood I'm in. It doesn't work. It always says black. It's only black when you're around because you put me in a bad mood.
As the most successful child star in Hollywood, young Mac found himself constantly bombarded by paparazzis, zealous fans, and massive crowds. These relentless encounters took a toll on him, breeding a sense of paranoia and unease. One day you're an average kid walking down the street, and the next, this kid is peering in your window trying to get a glimpse of you. That was too much for me to handle. I didn't have any friends. I was one of those kids who locked themselves in a room and drowned themselves in television. Through his traumatic childhood, Mac formed an unusual and highly publicized friendship with the pop icon, Michael Jackson. Their friendship was unusual due to the substantial age difference between them. Mac was just a child of around 10 years when they first met, while Michael Jackson was a global superstar in his 30s. We had very similar experiences in childhood. It's not like I can just bump into people on the street and say, "Oh, you too." It doesn't happen that often. Michael's still a kid. I'm still a kid. We're both going to be 8 years old forever in some place because we never had a chance to be 8 when we actually were. Joe Jackson, Michael's father, was known for his abusive approach to managing his children's careers. Joe Jackson violently abused Michael and his siblings during rehearsals with pretty much every object at his disposal, from belts to electric cords to tree branches. Mac frequently visited Michael Jackson's Neverland Ranch, a luxurious estate in California that was designed as a private amusement park. The ranch featured an array of attractions, including a zoo, movie theater, roller coaster, go-karts, and more. Mac even stated that he had sleepovers with Jackson at the ranch, and even shockingly slept in Jackson's bed on several occasions. Mac consistently defended his friendship with Michael Jackson, even in the face of horrific allegations against Jackson, which included several counts of child M and kidnapping. Mac testified during Jackson's 2005 trial, stating under oath that their friendship was innocent and devoid of any SA.
Is that, they go, "Oh, you slept in the same bedroom as him." It's like, I don't think you understand. Michael Jackson's bedroom is 2 stories. It's like 3 bathrooms and this and that. So when I slept in his bedroom, yeah, but you have to understand the whole scenario.
In 1992, Mac returned to his role that made him a household name in Home Alone 2, Lost in New York. Reprising his character Kevin McAllister, Mac once again found himself outwitting a pair of burglars, this time in the heart of Manhattan. Despite facing criticism for its similarity to the first Home Alone, this sequel still managed to replicate the massive success of the original. It continued to capture the hearts of audiences, maintaining the same charm and humor that had turned the original Home Alone into a timeless classic.
2 scoops, sir?
2, make it 3. I'm not driving.
In 1993, Mac ventured into more dramatic territory in the psychological thriller The Good Son. The film follows the story of Mark Evans, played by Elijah Wood, who goes to stay with his cousin Henry and his family following a personal tragedy. Macaulay's character Henry is a deeply disturbed and manipulative young boy with a penchant for sinister behavior. During the filming of The Good Son, Mac was growing increasingly fatigued from a hectic lifestyle that had him involved in 9 movies over the course of 5 years. I had already done 1 or 2 things that year, and I just said to Kit, listen, I'm really getting tired and I'm not at school as much as I'd like to be. I really need some time off. He said, yeah, sure. And the next thing I knew, I was on the next set doing the next thing, and it just kind of clicked in my brain. Okay, there's basically nothing I can do to make this stop. By 1993, Mac's career took a significant hit as his next 4 consecutive films underperformed at the box office, putting his career on life support. Films like The Nutcracker, Getting Even with Dad, The Pagemaster, and Richie Rich all faced struggles in theaters and failed to live up to the success of Home Alone. A significant turning point arrived when his parents decided to part ways. For Mac, this separation became the pathway to freedom that he had dreamed of for years. Mac recounted that his father had concealed newspapers from him, presumably to prevent him from realizing the extent of his earnings. However, at the age of 16, he learned that he was worth around $50 million. This revelation prompted him to take a definitive step towards securing his fortune. Mac legally removed his parents' names from his trust fund and appointed an executor to gain control of his substantial $50 million fortune. Mac's father, Kit, failed to appear at the court hearing. Kit even stole all of Mac's memorabilia, and Mac hasn't seen his father in decades.
I was able to actually walk away from the business. Eventually, I just was like, I'm done. I'm done, guys. I hope you all made your money because there's no more coming from me.
After years of dealing with his father's abuse, Mac broke free from the shackles of Hollywood, retired from acting, and embarked on a new journey. With newfound freedom, he made the choice to enroll in high school at the age of 16, allowing him to experience life as a regular teenager. In 1998, Mac married actress Rachel Miner. However, their marriage ended in divorce in 2002. In addition to these challenges, Mac struggled with substance abuse, leading him down a dark path of drug and alcohol addiction. His erratic behavior made him a frequent subject of tabloids and magazines. In 2003, after a decade-long hiatus, Mac decided to step back into the world of Hollywood. He returned to the big screen starring in films like Party Monster in 2003 and Saved in 2004. However, the movies flopped at the box office, and Mac had to confront a harsh reality. The landscape of Hollywood had shifted during his absence. Mac, now an adult, found himself navigating an industry with new rising stars, leaving him to contemplate whether his time in the spotlight had come to an end. In 2004, Mac continued to grapple with substance abuse issues, which led to him being arrested in Oklahoma City for drug possession. Despite his arrest, he denied having a drug problem and openly discussed this in the media.
I'm a kid, I had a beer, I smoked a joint. Big deal, you know what I'm saying?
In the wake of Mac's struggles with addiction and the disappointing outcome of his return to Hollywood, if he thought things couldn't get worse, the darkest chapters of his life were yet to come.
Okay, check for pulse. Okay, we got sinus rhythm.
On December 10th, 2008, Mac experienced an immense personal tragedy when his older sister Dakota tragically lost her life in an accident, having been struck by a car. Just a few months later, Mac was hit with another devastating tragedy when his best friend Michael Jackson passed away on June 25th, 2009. This loss sent him spiraling down an even darker path. The combined weight of these tragedies made this period one of the most challenging in his life. In 2013, he started a comedy rock band called the Pizza Underground. Mac's positive transformation continued to unfold as he launched a comedy podcast called Bunny Ears. He re-emerged in the entertainment industry, making memorable appearances in TV shows like American Horror Story and starring in films such as Changeland. Mac even revisited his role in Home Alone as a grown-up Kevin McAllister in a Google advertisement. But the best was still yet to come for Mac. In 2021, he celebrated the birth of his first son, Dakota, with actress Brenda Song, and the couple also shared the news of their engagement. These life-changing events marked the beginning of a new chapter in Mac's life, illuminating his path with purpose and fulfillment after years of darkness and struggles. Now, before I sign off, I want to leave you with some inspiration for your day with a positive takeaway from Macaulay Culkin's life. A significant lesson is the power of taking chances. A single leap of faith can entirely reshape your future for the better. So if you find yourself standing at a crossroads, feeling trapped, or overwhelmed by challenges, consider that now might be the perfect moment to take that leap and seize the opportunity before it slips away. Thank you for watching. Please smash that like button and subscribe for future videos on pop culture icons.